slow. Hitchhiking and we're in luck, riding in the bed of a pickup truck. From this childhood we all grew up. This used to be our reality. Slow ride down so you can see the way the world once used to be. How we survive nobody knows. Drinking water from the hose. Play it outside beyond the yard. In the streets amongst the cars. All sunburned with a bloody nose. Drinking water from the hose. On the roundabout down at the playground. Get it spinning fast and then you climb. Running home faster than a greyhound. Dinner's cold and Mom said be on time. Shaking like a Polaroid. I'm so late and she's annoyed. When Dad gets home, discipline's deployed. Freedom with accountability. Slow ride down so you can see the way the world once used to be. How we survive nobody knows. Drinking water from the hose. Play it outside beyond the yard. In the streets amongst the cars. All sunburned with a bloody nose. Drinking water from the hose. All over the halls, asbestos behind the walls, chicken pox and a runny nose, drinking water from the hose, vaccine scars like tennis balls, boys had guns and girls had dolls, life was good, the story goes, drinking water from the hose, slow ride down so you can see the way the world once used to be, how we survive nobody knows. Drinking water from the hose. Play it outside beyond the yard. In the streets amongst the cars. All sunburned with a bloody nose. Drinking water from the hose.
Hey, happy Friday night. That was T-Bone Erickson with Water from the Hose, the great single that he just released, inspired by Andy Curran. And if you don't know the story, well, you missed it. We told it last time. Tonight, special guest, Suicide Star, fresh with this brand new album, Isolation. 10 tracks. I haven't even opened my copy yet. I'm going to do it live tonight. But that doesn't mean I haven't heard it. Brian Hamilton sent me the tracks a few weeks ago, and I've been rocking them steady. I just played the album actually just about an hour ago, and I've made some notes. We shall be making some discussion. We'll be joined by Brian and Rob from the band, and also Super Deeks, who will be joining us shortly. He is my co-host tonight. And I'm also going to be unboxing this. Have a package here from Mr. Robert Lawson, author of Still Competition, The Listener's Guide to Cheap Trick. He was on with us last week. There goes my earbud. He was on with us last week. Fantastic. We had a fantastic time talking to Robert last week, and couldn't resist ordering one of his books straight from the author. You know, that way you don't have to pay a middleman. So let's see. Ooh. You know, I didn't know that this was going to be a hardcover. I had no idea this was going to be a hardcover. That's cool. Oh, look at this. Okay. So Rasmus Naz, The Listener's Guide to Nazareth by Robert Lawson. hardcover. I didn't expect that. Didn't know that was coming. And a bookmark. Wheatfield Empire, his third book. Well, I don't know what order they go in, but the third of the three of the trilogy that I need. Little bookmark. That's really cool. Thank you, Robert. Oh, and he signed it, of course. Okay. I'm trying not to crack the spine too much. So he did sign it to Mike. Now you're messing with LeBrain train. Thanks for the great chat. Cheers, Robert. 2021. That's cool. I'm going to treasure this. Thank you, Robert. That is wicked. I'm going to bring on my buddy Deke with his brand new microphone. Hey, Deke.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, you're sounding better than ever.
Can I just do a little Daily Roth? Look at all the people here tonight.
Well, that's good stuff, man.
Thanks, pal.
Is there a story behind this wonderful new microphone?
Well, I got my daughters to thank for Father's Day. Between Sue and my three daughters, I got 6 albums, book, and Mike.
Mike?
And now I'm hanging with Mike. So yeah, it was a great Father's Day. So yeah, pretty cool.
Look at the reviews have already come in from all the way from Australia. Reviews have come in. That's great.
Hilarious.
And Robert, nice to see you, my friend, and thank you so much. This is like I said, I didn't expect a hardcover.
Yeah, neither did I. I mean, that's great value, folks. You guys got to get out there and support local book writers like Robert. 3 great books. I'm on holidays after next week, and I'm going to dig into the Razmanaz book because
nice.
I'm going to cheat. I'm going to start off with Snaz. Love that record. So
That's the thing. That's the thing about Robert's books is that you don't necessarily have to read them in chronological order. If you want to jump ahead to a specific album that maybe you don't know about, or maybe it means something special to you personally, just jump ahead and you can pretty much read in your desired order, almost like listening to the albums you want to listen to at that specific time.
Oh yeah. It's just books written by a fan. I mean, and like he told us last week, no in-band drama, personal stuff, anything like that. It's just
no BS.
It's let the music do the talking. So
that's right. Yeah. Speaking of let the music do the talking, got to hold it up the right way. We got some guys on tonight. Now we've spoken to Brian before, back in the fall.
Yep.
Stormforce. He was actually part of the very first interview that we ever did on this site, on this show.
Yeah, him and Patrick crashed the party with Greg.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, Brian has another project, Suicide Star, and you've heard it.
Absolutely. I've been listening to it constantly for a good 2 weeks now, amongst all my other stuff. But yeah, I look forward to digging into him and Rob's brains about the whole backstory to it and the songs. And anybody out there, I mean, if you can't get a physical copy, if you don't have a CD player like me, just support it, man. Just download it to your device like me here. Here, hang on a sec. It's right there. And I'm on. It's on Amazon Music, which I now subscribe to, and it's on Apple and Spotify. It's everywhere, man. It takes 2 seconds, just do it.
Wow. Is that an endorsement or what?
And if he puts it out on vinyl, I'll get it on vinyl.
Ooh. Maybe we should save that for the show.
Save it for the show.
I'm going to open this live when we get the guys on. I've been listening to the files, and I'm looking forward to checking out the credits. I've been listening to the lyrics, and there's some pretty cool stuff on here. I'm very impressed. So long story short, Suicide Star is going to be in my car a lot in 2021, summer of 2021. Why don't we get the show rolling and bring the guys on and see what they have to say. You ready to rock it?
Let's do it.
Let's rock it. If I can Boy, I sure cued that badly. Okay, let's try this over again. Let's rock it.
Ticket to anywhere and a glazed donut to go. All aboard.
The LeBrain Train is proud to present Brian Hamilton.
Sorry, Rob, we added you in at the last possible minute.
I love that. That was awesome. I'm like, yeah, there's Brian, and then I appeared. I'm like, yes, that's awesome.
I messaged him. That was T-Bone that made that intro, and I messaged him like a day ago saying, it's confirmed Rob's joining the show too. And he's like, okay, quick. And he sent me that video real quick on the fly.
That was awesome. We weren't expecting that. That's pretty funny.
Hey.
So say hello to my good friend here, Mr. Deke.
Hello,
hey guys.
How you doing, brother?
I'm hearing creepy stuff about brains and stuff. I'm feeling a little violated. I gotta tell you.
Well, I don't know what you've heard, but I've heard this.
Yeah,
and
there you go.
So congratulations for one thing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This is a fine sounding album. Let's crack it open and see what's on the inside, shall we?
Yes, please.
Might want to step
and
back.
I'm glad that it's available on CD because there's still geeks like me that want CD.
Exactly.
It's like
look
a
at that.
pop-up book.
Look at that.
There you go.
I don't even have to read their names. There you go. Rob Barton, vocals. Brian Hamilton, drums. Aki Maris, bass. Les Saran, guitar. There you go. Save me the effort.
Interesting record. I've never recorded like that before. It was quite cool. None of us have, so it was interesting to just build this album.
You mean working remotely?
Yeah, we still haven't rehearsed yet. We have never played together.
Well, we played together once. There was a brief hiatus with COVID last year, if you remember. I think it was around April or something. So we met get together at a bar to do like a rehearsal / it was kind of my audition for the band, and we jammed out a whole bunch of songs, and that was a lot of fun. But it really gelled. We knew right then it really gelled. Yeah. So
and we didn't go there prepared with anything. We just showed up with let's make some noise, see if some magic happens, and we just started jamming. And we were maybe an hour,
something like that. I learned.
Then we started getting in behaving.
I think I learned like 3 Step Echo songs because Brian's old project Step Echo. So I thought, okay, let me learn some stuff that I can jam with these guys. It's original. So we jammed some of that stuff, and it really sounded good.
Yeah, it gelled right away.
Yeah.
So we knew we were onto something, and then of course COVID kicked in and hardcore, and it's like, that's it, everybody, put your bubble wrap on and just sit low until we tell you we're good to go again. So we've actually, Les and Aki both went and bought some DAWs and had to learn how to record it at home, and Rob already had a little bit of a system at home, so just a small little system, and he was able to record some vocals, and nothing huge technical. He was singing in a 58.
That was it. That's a 58.
There was a 58 on the guitar amp. Yeah. There you go. We'll just go with the stuff that works, right? So kept it quite simple, and
that's amazing. It's just amazing to me that we're in this age that we can record albums remotely like that, and especially you as a drummer as well. It's got to be weird as the timekeeper dealing with things like audio lag when you're chatting and whatnot.
Yeah, we didn't even do that so much, really. The way the process was, we would discuss the idea. Les would send over basically an acoustic version, just an MP3. Like the tempo, like the groove or whatever. So I would then map out a tempo and send him back the tempo. So he has to now work on the grid that I've established that we're going to work on it. It's 5 minutes long. We can shorten it, however, but as long as we're starting at the same spot all the time. So then he just laid out the song as the first chorus, bridge, blah, 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 and send it to Rob. And then Rob would go, I like this. Maybe we'll shorten this, shorten that, write some lyrics. He would throw some ghost vocals on, just some sort of guidance through the thing, send it back to me. And then I would start blasting down some drums to get a feel of what's going on. And then when I was done that, then I'd send it over to Aki, and then Aki would play bass on it, send it back to me, then send it back to Les. Les would redo all the guitars, then we'd send it to Rob, he would sing, and then they'd send it all back to me, and I mixed it. Done. That was it was a rinse and repeats, but it happened quite quick. Like you said, we did this. The whole thing, the band was together.
A year we did it. Yeah.
Recorded it, mixed, mastered, and put it out with the video in 7-8 months.
Yeah. So last June, I think we had our first meeting at a Boston Pizza. And nothing had been done. And
that's right. We were outside.
Yeah, and then from that time till now, we've done an entire album, written songs, and did an entire album. But it was easy, I think. It really felt easy. I'll admit I've never done something at this level before, where you got a bunch of guys who are this experienced, who've done this kind of thing, and who nose to the grind, and they know what they want and what to get. But it was very easy. The songs fit well with me, really easy, like to what I wanted to do. I remember I used to listen to Step Echo and go, man, I wish I could sing for these guys. I really do. And then lo and behold, Brian gets a hold of me. But writing these songs, it fit really easy, and there was no arguing. There was some back and forth, but very positive, creative back and forth. But no arguing, no egos were in this whatsoever, which was really refreshing. And I think it shows. I think it shows on the album.
I would say so, if results can speak for themselves.
Yeah, I would totally second that. Like when you listen to your album, guys, it's like it sounds like you guys are in one room together. Yeah. You would never, unless you guys told everybody the backstory, nobody would ever know. Everybody thinks four guys in the studio checking it out.
That just shows you that's how the future is really going to be. That the COVID forced entertainers and entertainment this hand. It's a hand that we all fight. We all like to go to a studio and have the mindset. And, when you all of a sudden have to unplug everything from everybody and say, you can't do any of that, figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's not just us. There's lots of bands that are doing it like this now. And we were just lucky to be, out of the gate as fast as we were. But it's been a comfortable way of recording, like Rob says. And even Aki, he doesn't want to record in the studio ever again. He's much happier just being able to, like, if he wakes up at 2 a.m, go downstairs, throw on his headphones, play away, do his thing. It's like, there's a great take. He's comfortable. He's not feeling like, the engineer and the producer is looking over his shoulder, or the band staring at you. You feel a little uncomfortable sometimes if you're not, laying something down. It's the same thing with drums. Doesn't matter what it is. The other guys are on the opposite side of the glass staring at you, and it's like, fuck, screw this up. Try again. And you're thinking, there goes $35 an hour, and there goes $35 an hour, and sorry guys, that whole thing's been taken out of the equation. So it was quite enjoyable for all of us. I think we've all collectively talked about how much we found this was more comfortable than any other situation. Recording for me anyway. I like going to the studio too, but and I like the pressure, but this was way more relaxed, and just it felt like we all actually brought our own thing to the table. It wasn't that we collectively gelled. You know, bands they rehearse and they gel parts and come up with, oh, what if you did this, or if I do that? We didn't even have those discussions. It's just what we naturally played is what we all naturally played off each other by the recording.
Yeah, and there's two sides of that coin for the recording in a studio and recording at home. I mean, on the one hand, you don't get that spontaneity you get when you're sitting in a room with a bunch of fellow musicians and say, hey, man, wait a minute. I just, you played that riff, play that again. Why don't you try it this way? There's a little bit of that missing, but at the same time, like Brian says, especially as a vocalist, if you don't feel on that day, like if my throat hurts or I can't really, I'm not feeling the vocals, I can just walk away from it, come back to it when I feel like it, whenever, and do the best performance possible, right? So yeah. So it made it lots easier that way.
Now you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I read on your Facebook bio that Rob, you're also a drummer.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So
that was my first instrument. I was on the road for a long time in bar bands and stuff, playing drums. I actually played in a band with the current singer of Stormforce, Pat Gallardi. I was the drummer way back in the early 90s. And we did kind of a tour, a little Canadian tour that went really well. It was a lot of fun. But when I started pursuing my professional career, I'm actually an animator. I work on animated films and TV shows and stuff like that. So when I started pursuing that, I kind of pushed music to the side a little bit because I just wanted to, get my career off the ground. Then I ended up, I went overseas for a while and for my job, and I came back and I was just busy. And then when I finally came back this way, I was living in Milton, and I was playing with a band there, and we were writing original songs. We wrote about an album's worth of songs, and that really lit the fire in me again. I'm like, oh man, I really want to do this again. And so, because I was able to sing and record, I love the recording process. It really gets to me that. So I knew that had to happen, but then I was forced to move back to Niagara due to a family tragedy that happened. And I stopped playing music again for about a year until, Brian got a hold of me, and that was
Ironically, it was you playing drums.
It was me playing drums, yeah. So
light bulb went on, like, oh, yeah. Rob can sing. I forgot all about Rob. I've known him since, like, Rob and I go back since like high school, yeah. And Battle of the Bands, we battled against each other.
Yeah, as drummers, yeah.
So we've known each other. Totally forgot he was the singer in my mind, right? And it was the video that he had of him drumming. He got some cool electronic drums for Christmas. Yeah. And then I scrolling down his page, and then there's him playing an acoustic guitar, singing a Journey song or something. I went, fuck, what was I thinking? So I got on the blower and went, hey, Rob, remember me? And the rest was history really quick. It was just perfect timing. The stars aligned.
Yeah, and that was right at the time I was looking to do something. I was like, oh my God, I want to write again. I miss it. I want to write some songs. And then, he reached out. That was it.
So we just got some viewer feedback here. One gentleman is asking if you can turn it up a little bit.
What part?
The microphone. I think, Brian, you were kind of fading out a bit there.
Oh. Get the specs out. Where's the glasses?
Get the
Where do we're all old guys here.
See, I figured Brian would just turn a knob. I don't know.
No, it's on. It's on.
Okay.
I'll speak up a little better. I think
we can scooch closer.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Maybe it's Brian. Maybe it's Brian that's the issue here.
Okay. We'll snuggle up here. All right.
And he also just subscribed to your YouTube page, and he watched the Mercy video. Awesome. And Mr. Jon Snow steamed the album today, and it was fantastic. But then he also, after he steamed it, he streamed it.
Yeah, don't iron the CD. It won't.
No. But he did say he is. Well, you saw that comment there. But he also said that he'll be buying a copy, so that's pretty cool too.
Excellent, thank you.
Excellent.
And somebody's being a smartass, I guess.
That looks like it's probably being Aki.
Yeah. It might be our bass player.
So guys, where do your other two bandmates come in the mix here? Like, how did they come to be part of the band?
Well, what had happened is actually not too far after we spoke in the fall with when I was with doing the Stormforce interview with you guys. That's when COVID really clenched us down again, like we were saying, and we couldn't do anything. There was nothing more we could do. We had our CD release party that got pulled away. We rescheduled it a year later. That got pulled away. So in all that time, there was nothing to do. There was nothing for us. We couldn't go and play anywhere. And so we were just like sitting ducks waiting in the water of like, okay, when things roll around again, we can get moving. But for me, because I'm in entertainment as well, I'm the audio engineer at Fallsview for all the shows. And that's gone. So I've got all this time on my hands and nothing to do. And I've been dying for some just do some creative things. And my Aki and Les, who I was in a band with for 13 years as Step Echo, we had a little bit of unfinished business. We've written a bunch of things that never seen the light of day. And I just happened to call Les, hey man, if you feel like writing a few things and see if we can just get some creative juices flowing again. And he's like, yeah, totally. Here, I was thinking about this idea. And he sent me an idea. And I was like, oh, cool. Called Aki, said, hey man, I've been talking with Les. You end up getting things rolling again. Maybe, get some creative juices going. And he's like, send me some stuff. So that's how it kind of came together. And it was some of the other old songs that we'd started and we started talking about it. But then we had the conversation, well, what are we going to do? We need a singer. And that's how it all came together. So, well, how about we put a rehearsal together, just see if some of the magic's still there, see if we, and that was the rehearsal he was referring to, that we just rented the space, set up, made some racket. Rob came in, sang a couple of tunes. And then by the end of that, we had a few beers and went, this could work. Let's start writing some stuff. And that's really the short story of it. It didn't get any much more complicated than that.
Yeah, there was a moment there during that first rehearsal where the guys were like, okay, Rob, that's great. Do you mind if we just jam out some stuff? And I know that was the moment where these guys were trying to play together and see if they remembered how to do that. So I was content to just sit back there, have a beer, and watch these guys play because I really enjoyed the Step Echo music. So, and that's what they played, and it was great.
Oh, that's awesome! I got to tell you, Rob, your vocals on this album just soar, man. Like, fantastic set of pipes you got. I mean, for me, it's always a lot of times it boils down to the vocals. It's like if I can get into what the guy's singing and getting the message across. And you delivered it in spades. I mean, I don't know what it is with the water down in Southern Ontario, but between you and Patrick from Stormforce and, and then even going back to Greg's old singer, like Gerald. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So kudos to you, man. Like whatever you're doing with your pipes, keep doing it, pal.
I gotta say, this guy here pushed me a lot because I get
just that kind of,
I tend to be conservative sometimes when I sing, and I think, being an artist, I always think, oh, I can't do that. It's not good enough. And Brian's like, you know what? But he doesn't push me. He doesn't say, hey, Rob, do this, or you're out of the band or anything like that. He'll say, you know what? Why don't you just let's go up to this note here at that part. Why don't you try that? And he'll present it like that. And I'll do it and I'll get frustrated. And then again, what I love about the home recording thing is that I can just sit back. I can sit down. I mean, for one particular note I remember is the one at the end of Mercy. I do kind of a little scream at the end of Mercy there. And I couldn't get it for the world. I was overthinking it. I was having a hard time. And then I was just sitting there in the backyard and I was having a couple of beers. And I remember thinking, you know what? I'm doing this right now. And I just ran in there and I threw the headphones on and it just came out like magic. And he would be patient for that.
What's funny about that? He sent me the take that's on the end of that as like a ghost. He goes, "What do you think of this?" And I went, "It's done." And that's what you're hearing. That was the printed the what do you think of this? Yeah. That was the ghost track. There it is. Good, perfect. I love it.
Yeah, but he really brought it out of me. A lot of those vocals he brought out of me.
I'll pay you later.
That's awesome.
he's brought the project to a whole new level as well, and it's not like before with Step Echo. Les really wrote basically the melodies as well, which that's not the case here. Les would just write the riff, send it to him, and he came up with the melody, the lyric, everything, and then we'd have to try and build the song around that from that point. So it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like the way it worked, and I can't wait to start recording the next pile of stuff.
Yeah, and I think it helped because Les was always adamant at the beginning. He said, I don't want to record Step Echo again. I don't want to be Step Echo. I don't want it to sound like Step Echo. And I think, me being a fresh face in the band and being able to write with Les, he found that really refreshing. So, and we bounce off each other, and he found it inspirational. I found it inspirational.
And for us as well, because for me, I've been, writing with Les for 13, 14 years. So I know when he's going to go for something or what his mindset is. I can picture where he's going to go with it. It's just like his playing, right? I know we can know when an ending's coming. We don't have to look at each other, but the ending is like, I know it's coming. Whammo. So when he brought in that whole new thought process of what's going on, it's like, oh, we can think about different parts of the music now. And it was caught off guard because it's not the melody you would imagine that would go with the riff, right? Because the riff, I could hear exactly what Les would probably sing. And it's not what the case was. So it just takes everything and twists it totally around. It's like, this is different. I like it. It's fresh.
Yeah, and at the beginning, Les would always send, because he was used to that, he would always send me his vocal melody. He'd written all the lyrics and all the melodies, and he would send that to me, and I'd go, do you mind if I just have a go at this on my own?
And he would say, no problem. He goes, okay, the song is called this now.
Yeah. I've changed the name of the song, and the melody's completely different. But no, Les was great. He was so great for that. He's like, no, this sounds great. I love it. Let's keep going. And that was really important. There was no ego involved whatsoever. It was great.
So are the songwriting credits split 4 ways then? Is it like a total?
Yep.
There we go.
That was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look, and we even have. Here we go. Confirmation from the official Suicide Star Facebook page. There you go.
Yeah,
it's a group effort.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
We don't agree with that. Like you hear of all the bands, squabbling and, you get 5%, you get 2%, you get this. We're like, no, man, we all contribute to this. We all our parts are important to the songs.
Yeah.
So it's a 4-way split. Absolutely.
Nice. And it sounds like it was a collaboration really naturally.
Well, again, I think we all come from the same world of music growing up, right? So it's not like it wasn't, he's a country guy and he's a blues guy. Now you got to force the shit to work, right?
Right.
We all come from the rock background, metal background, and it was all natural fits. We knew where each other were really going musically. It was like, oh, I see where you're going with that. Cool idea. Let's pick off of that.
Wait
thing,
a minute.
Right?
Wait, what were you playing in high school? Were you playing rock? I can't remember. Were you in rock? No. See?
I listened to it, but I was playing new wave.
That's it.
Platinum Blonde, U2. All that stuff.
So what was your hair like back in high school, Brian? Do we dare ask that question?
Funny, we just had this conversation earlier today. I was at a buddy's place. We're talking about the same thing. And I went to a school called Coconut College. All the heavy metalers in the city went to this place, Kernahan Park. And I was this prep looking like I'm ready to go on the next Joshua Tree tour. Got the tie on. I looked like 90210 just puked all over this metal scene. So when I walked in, these guys had a heyday with me, man. I was picked on, pushed around, and I was chucked in my locker upside down, you name it. It was just horrible. But I learned my lesson and put on the leather jacket and got rid of the tie. But that still brought you to that Battle of the Bands there.
Absolutely.
And you played my kit.
Did I play your kit? Was
the
that your
big
kit?
white kit?
No.
That was my drums. I still got a picture of that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Flock of seagulls here. Yeah, I had some of that.
If I may be so bold, I thought when I listened to it, I heard a lot of 80s kind of Priest, but yet with a modern twist. Like you would never mistake this for an 80s album. It only sounds like today. But I definitely heard some 80s Priest, like some really good, powerful sing-along choruses that would sound great live with some cool metal riffs.
Yeah, I think you play what you know, right? Like, we can only regurgitate what we've been brought up listening to, on some level. So, that all comes out. You can sit there and say, well, we're going to try to sound like this band or that band or this band. And it's never going to. It's going to sound like what you were brought up.
Yeah, we never said let's what do we want to model ourselves after? We never did that. What you hear is
once.
exactly what we come up with. It wasn't like, we should really go down this pipe, or
it was
we
never
don't compare.
play that riff like Judas Priest, or play that riff like Motley Crue.
Yeah, or I think this song sort of sounds like Nickelback. Let's go down. None of that happened. It was just exactly what happened. Was just natural and never discussed. That's just what happened.
Very organic. Yeah, very organic.
So as exciting you guys are about it, so are we, because we've ended up with a product in our hands, and we're proud of it. It's very our heart and soul is on it. It's not like it's been forced in any way. It's just, it is what it is. It's as analog as it's going to get in the digital world. How about that? What do we get?
Look at this. We are getting so much official history here.
Aki's monitoring the Suicide Star page right now.
I wonder if at any point the official Suicide Star Facebook page is going to contradict anything you're saying. Objection.
We'll see.
But yeah,
that'll be another show.
Did you and Aki play in bands together back in high school?
Nope.
Oh, what was that he just said?
No, we were talking. He was at the Battle of the Bands at Governor Simcoe that I was playing at. And he was in the crowd, and it was funny. Right. I was playing in my band Quest at the time. We were just this kid band. I was like 8 years old, and we were playing in a high school. None of us are in high school. We're playing against all these high schoolers, and there was some videotape that I have of the band playing, and at the very beginning of it, there's a pan of the camera that comes by the crowd sitting in the bleachers, and there's Aki sitting right there. And it's like, holy shit, there you are watching my show, and here we are all these years. It was like 25 years later. Then we hooked up and started doing Step Echo over the years, and that's been a little running gag we've had in our back pocket that, he had hair then.
Oh, geez, that's fun. It's so cool that you guys have all this history, though. I mean, like, this isn't a new band. Really, what you're hearing is a bunch of guys that have been in each other's circles for many years.
Yeah.
And have finally had the chance, these particular four had the chance to see what happens when they start rocking and rolling. I bet you guys can't wait to actually get together in a room and play.
Oh, I'm dying.
We just had that conversation saying now that things are starting to move that way,
let's rehearse, man.
Let's go make some noise.
Yeah, he's already got click tracks ready to go. He's got all that stuff ready for the live stuff.
We're excited.
So yeah, we're really excited to start doing that.
Oh, incidentally, Brian Zinger saw Burton Cummings at Fallsview, and the sound was awesome. So that's a thumbs up to Brian Hamilton there.
Very good. Thank you.
Well, guys,
we say that Brian Hamilton, he mixed and mastered this album.
Yeah.
And he did a fantastic job. He's got a great ear for this. Yeah, there it is.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah.
I got to pay him another $5 now.
He's got a fantastic ear for this. And you know what? I gotta say, we did when we only had, I think, 3 songs recorded, we were wondering, well, who's gonna mix all this stuff finally?
Mm-hmm.
What are we gonna do? So we put one of the songs, Follow, I believe it was, from the album, and we sent it out to, what was it, like 5 or 6?
Seven different guys.
Yeah, 7 different mixers. A lot of them professional, a lot of them in business.
Producers.
Yeah, and and so Brian got them back. He didn't tell us who mixed what. He just said, have a listen and tell me what you like the best. And a lot of us narrowed down Brian as one of them. He put his in there, didn't tell us. And we narrowed down his as one of the best. And we were like, look, if you can hold your own against these guys, we're just going to take you. Like, why wouldn't we do that? Like you did a fantastic job. So yeah, that was easy.
It was interesting for me because really it's my first record I've done from beginning to end entirely on my own, and that's what he's getting at. Like, for all the records that I've done over the years, even with Storm Force, I recorded the Storm Force record, but I didn't mix it or master it. That was all sent off to somebody else to mix and master. And all the years that I've done the other records, I've always had a producer that was that fifth element, right? That fifth guy that has an opposing opinion of how this is going. And that wasn't the case here. And I had the stress on my shoulders, like, am I the opposing opinion? And I'm going to oppose the opinion of myself at this point. Like, where do I, how do I try and draw the line between the both? And like you said, we just sent it off and brought it back. And I was pretty surprised that they picked, because I actually had 2 mixes from me of the same song, 2 completely different mixes at it. And I had all the mixes brought back, and I sent it to another engineer of ours, a friend of mine, and I said, can you just level match everything? So it's like one's not louder than the other, where the guys would go, oh, that one sounds way better because it's louder, right? Right. So I had them level match all of them and then send it off to everybody, and they were the ones that picked it, and I was like, well, shit, you guys all picked my mix.
Yeah, I think we narrowed it down unanimously to like 2 or 3 mixes that we loved, and his was in there, and we said, man, so we'll just get him to do it.
We saved ourselves a few grand.
Yeah.
On the best of my price range.
I love that you went to such great pains to do like a totally fair Pepsi challenge type of thing.
Totally did.
But Deke, you were about to say something.
No, I was going to say that's the thing. That's pretty impressive, Brian. That considering you're the drummer, you could have just mixed those drums above everything else.
Yeah. There's been some hard lessons learned over the years. Let me tell you, the drums have been larsed a few times. There's no bass player on this record. So,
yeah, man.
Yeah, no, I was quite happy with it. I'm proud of myself of just being able to accomplish the record from beginning to end on my own. Like I said, I mixed and mastered all kinds of projects, this, that, and being the objective point, not having somebody that's being the objective point to me, right? So it was a big set of shoes on my own that I stepped into, and I was like, okay, well, let's give it. What do I got to lose? I got nothing but time on my hands. I got nowhere to work, nowhere to play, nowhere to, so that's where it came together for me, and it worked out well. I learned a lot of new tricks and a lot of new things, and quite pleased with the way it turned out.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that he went up. Well, not he went up, but no disrespect to these other guys. Absolutely, they're fantastic engineers. But there was a couple in there that have mixed, signed bands, 2 big bands who are out there. And and when you sit down and listen to these mixes, and you can't really tell a big difference between his and those, the choice is easy. He just did a fantastic job. He's got a great ear for it.
Here's another $5.
Keep it coming. Go ahead and lay them out.
This is awesome.
I can see this isn't going to be the kind of show where we get any interband drama or anything like that. It's going to be a mutual admiration society the whole night.
We considered opening the show with me and him punching each other.
Because you guys said something about what was the line he said? I said, we'll open it up and we just bashing each other.
That would have been funny.
Right.
Shoot. Opportunity lost.
No drama whatsoever. I mean, you might think that's just because we recorded at home and we weren't in the same room, but no, absolutely. Whenever we do get together,
we laugh.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun, and everybody's happy. And there's no, oh my God, this sucked. No, I hated that. But there's no whisper. None of that stuff.
Yeah,
none of that stuff.
That's great. I mean, who needs that bullshit after this many years of loving and playing music?
That's right.
You only got so much time here. You might as well be enjoying it instead of dreading it as you go, right? So
yeah.
So basically, that's the one good thing you can say about the pandemic is it brought you guys together.
Absolutely. And again, like I said, I think it's gonna help the music industry in the long run, because now all the guys have had to force themselves to record at home and learn the small, simple tools. You don't have to be the next greatest mixer, but you being able to record at home and now present your ideas differently, I think you're going to see some great new music come out in the next 2 or 3 years that you would have never gotten because of this pandemic. I think that is going to make people
100%.
have to be creative on their own and figure out how to do things and just open their minds to something they never thought they could have done, because an engineer did that, or a producer did that, or it was always put in somebody else's hands, right? So I think there's going to be some real good. This is going to be the turning point. See,
that's right.
There was new wave, and then there was metal, and then there was disco. There's going to be a new one that's coming out, and we started it.
Yes. You're 100% right, though. I was just telling Deke yesterday, the new Styx album just came out, and Lawrence Gowan was saying,
awesome.
Yes, it is awesome. Last time you were on, you were wearing that cool Styx shirt. But sorry, what I was going to say was Lawrence Gowan said that he used some old vintage keyboards on this album that he never would have been able to use if they were recording it in a recording studio, because he wouldn't, they're not really mobile. So because he was recording at home, he's able to use all this vintage equipment. So, there are positives.
Stuff, right?
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, this pandemic has forced us into, we wouldn't be sitting here talking right now if I didn't gear up after this, for this pandemic.
Yeah.
So it has brought us some blessings, and here's one right here. Here's 10 songs. Isolation. You couldn't ask for a more appropriate title.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You're going to say the same thing.
There's no way we couldn't do an album and reflect on that somehow. A lot of the subject matter in the lyrics is about that, is about the time we've all had, and the time, you know, I personally have had. And it's, you know, we didn't take long to come up with the title of the album. I think it was Les that actually presented the title of Isolation.
No, I think it was you. You had Isolation. It was almost the same. It was Distance or something like that.
Oh,
I remember there was about 4 or 5 names that went in the hat, and he was the one that really liked Isolation. As soon as he said it, went, that works.
Why don't we just this album is about that year that we all went through, because it took that year to write this album, and it was the year of the pandemic, right? So it had to be about that.
You know, there's actually a connection with that, Brian, because when we talked to you a year ago, remember we were chatting that when Stormforce came out, about 3 weeks later came the pandemic, and everybody, it was the age of fear. And
now, exactly. That's right.
You're in a new band, and what's the name of the album? Isolation. So
yep.
Gotta get one more for the trilogy.
Yeah. That's like time stamping it, right?
Well, you know, I was saying to my wife on the drive here today, we were listening to the new Dennis DeYoung and the new Styx, and there's a song in the new Dennis DeYoung called Saint Quarantine. So, you know, like, there's music that's coming out and still to be released that is going to be absolutely dead certain dated to this exact period of time. Just like 20 years ago, there were all those post 9/11 songs that came out 20 years ago. And, you know, you hear one today and you're like, that was, I remember that. So, you know, 20 years from now, we're going to be listening to this album saying, shit, what a year.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Journey just released their new video, and it's all about, you know, the pandemic. It's all about being separated and isolated. It's all about that. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of that, I think.
And like you guys, Journey just kind of formed a brand new lineup during this pandemic.
It's forced the hand to do a lot of things. I tell you, like, I guarantee you, we're going to see some interesting things in the next year and a half, 2 years out of the music industry. You know, you know, step on everybody and keep them pinched off for 2 years, and then all of a sudden they've got to invent something, and now they're able to come out and present it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
What was that last comment? Titles are
your titles are always on point.
Okay, cool.
Good problem.
He's a Stormforce fan as well, so I think he's also referring back to the Stormforce stuff. And he's also saying there are far worse things that can timestamp your album rather than a title. And like this music has more of a timeless quality to it.
Yeah, we hope so. Yeah, it's hard to do that, right? It's hard to write songs that are going to exist years down the line without hearing them and going, oh yeah, that was, you know, 2020 or 2021. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, we, again, like Brian was saying, we just wrote what comes out of us. We're just, you know, regurgitating all those years of playing and all those years of listening, and this is what comes out. And it came out so organically. It came out so naturally.
Yeah.
With very little effort.
Just like the beer's going down with no effort.
Cheers.
Cheers indeed.
So guys, if you don't mind, we've had other guests on here, and I always tell them at some point in the show that I like to play record store A&R guy. So if I was the A&R guy of your record, I have to tell everybody out there, the album starts off strong and it continues strong.
Yeah.
But 2 songs at the back end of that record, you guys got to hear me out here. You really got to put out Love You Like You Mean It and No Looking Back as singles, because I'm going to tell you guys right now, I was pedaling on my mountain bike, and when No Looking Back came on, I stopped my bike and went back on my iPod and went back and listened to it. And I did that the first go around with Stormforce. As soon as I heard the title track, Age of Fear, and it ended, I went, whoa, back and listened. I mean,
awesome.
Those 2 songs are so killer. I mean, killer vocals, killer everything. Ryan, you're smashing the shit out of the drums on No Looking Back. I mean,
they don't hit you back. So you beat the shit out of them. It's okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you know what's the hardest part of this whole process was when we sat down and said, okay, how are we going to organize this album? What song goes first? What song goes last?
Yeah.
Because regardless whether it's a CD or digital, you still got to think of it as like A side and B side. And we're like, well, we thought it, you know, just being so close to it, we thought, well, none of these songs are bad. Like, we don't think, oh, we want to push that to a B side, or so we just kind of had to come up with this order of what we felt we wanted people to hear first. And, you know, so, but now we're getting all this input from lots of people. And that's funny because No Looking Back is one that I'm hearing a lot about. That one and Suicide Star is another one that I'm hearing a lot about. We're getting a lot of Spotify plays on those songs. So yeah, just now we're starting to get an idea of who's listening to what and, you know, what should be next, because we're going to do another video and we're still kind of figuring out, well, what's that going to be? So I kind of tend to want to think, well, let's see what the people want. Let's look at Spotify, see what's playing. Let's see.
We've been watching our analytics pretty closely to see what's, this is the song everybody's gravitating to. Maybe we should give that some extra attention. So yeah, like it's really close to us. So we will take those notes. Those songs are definitely two of our faves as well. And No Looking Back may be the next video. We that one's already been tossed out into the pond twice. So
nice.
The next video.
That one's one of the choruses. No Looking Back is one of the choruses that's stuck in my head. So I would second that. But I would go for I Survive as my second pick if I was Deke.
A lot of that. Yeah. I Survive. Yeah. Yeah. The chorus.
It's such a positive message, you know. A lot of these lyrics kind of strike me as, you know, I'm fighting back kind of lyrics, you know, not giving up kind of lyrics.
Moving forward, I hear like for instance, like No Looking Back. I mean, to me, it is a song about moving forward. I mean, you sing it, Rob, in the chorus. You know, basically you're getting kicked down. The past is the past. Let's move this. Let's move the ship forward. And such killer.
Yeah, that was when I was writing those lyrics, that was what I was feeling. It was about, you know what, all this shit we've put up with this past year. Let's just keep going, because that's really all you can do. You can just keep moving forward. It is what it is. Now get on with it. That was actually a saying that I gravitated to. Neil Peart from Rush used to say that all the time. It is what it is. Get on with it. And I love that. I want to actually get that tattooed on me. I love that saying because it's true. You can sit there and you can, you know, bitch and whine and moan, but then you just got to get up and get on with it. And
life's too short.
Yeah.
You got to get moving, you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what that was about. That song.
I can relate to that sentiment. You know, we all bitched and moaned a lot over the last 16 months, but look at all the good it did us.
Yeah.
So, you know, like you said, it is what it is. Move on.
And there is a lot of good coming out, like a lot of great bands and great music. It's just like everything's steamrolling ahead now. So
it's encouraging to see this. Yeah.
The other thing, going back to what I was saying about these bands, like we're going to see a new pile of music coming from everybody. A lot of those bands that, you know, haven't had the time down because they're touring, doing what they're doing, they'll go in the studio and blast off whatever because that's what they've compiled. But they've had 2 years to just actually sit down and, you know, thread the needle and build something new for themselves. So I think some of these bands, much like Styx, perfect example. Like, I mean, this record sounds more fresh than anything they put out in the last 10 years to me. You know, what do we got?
He wants to see Clifton Hills and the Falls in your video.
Yeah,
maybe.
We talked about that. We were going to have him on his motorbike up and down there, but it was too flip cold and his bike was in storage, so that had to go. That was the first video we thought about that. But yeah,
well, it's not too cold now.
No, it's all ready to go. I've been out a few times on the bike this year, so yeah, let's do it.
So let me ask you this question: if it was too cold to ride when you filmed the video, how long does it take to take a video from the point where you say, I want to make a video of this song, to the point where it's on YouTube?
Well, it depends on the video and it depends on what you do with it, right? Like ours was a little different because we had to do it when COVID restrictions were being lifted. So the way the video was shot, like it's much like even the Stormforce video, that was a one-day shoot. It's all the preparation you do prior and having it organized, shots organized, have everything ready to go. That way you can get it done in a couple of hours, 8 hours. And it's the editor that's going to have to do his magic to bring it around, just like a producer or a mixer. It takes a band's pile of tracks and then mixes it, right? So we were pretty methodical and thoughtful about what we shot. And our editor / director, he's killer with what he can do with his tools. And he put a lot of hours in to bring it to what it looks like now. But if you're really diligent about your shots, you can get it done in a couple of days in a very, not too much, but you got to be diligent. Write it out, make a storyboard, picture what shots you really absolutely need, because it's going to get filtered down. You know, you're going to get cut a lot of stuff that you would think, oh, this is going to be the most epic part. And it's like cutting room floor, you got to trim the fat, right? And so, yeah.
And like Aki just said there, I'm guessing that was Aki. There was a lot of the B-roll. There's a lot of shots that you see on the TVs and some of the close-ups, the black and white smoky shots that you see. Those were actually shot, what was it, Christmas time?
Yeah, Christmas.
In Aki's garage with lights and smoke and a cell phone.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was it. But, the main part of the video was shot,
at the warehouse.
At the warehouse. And, and that's the thing. These guys had a definite vision. It wasn't like, oh, you know what, let's just set up the instruments and shoot, and that's it. He had a vision. He's like, okay, we're setting up these TVs.
Blame me.
Oh, we're gonna do all of this stuff. We're gonna lights and smoke and this and that. And I love that. Like, I love when people are passionate like that. And he brought it. Like,
There goes another $5.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Man.
If you see that set, like, there's going to be, I think we're going to release some stuff where you're actually going to see the set and how it actually looked.
Yeah, we have some.
Amazing,
we have a time lapse video of the entire video.
Yeah,
that we'll be putting out soon.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Just
yet.
a still camera showing the whole process.
Yeah,
That's
neat.
4 minutes over the 2 days.
Yeah, but
that's neat.
It looked amazing. Yeah, it looks so professional. It was done so professionally.
Well, it does look like it is a great looking video. That is for sure. So, if you guys are looking at a second video, Deke said no looking back. And what was the other one? You said love me like you mean it was the other one that Deke picked.
Sorry,
I was just gonna say I wrote down in my notes that was another tune that I really liked, and I thought the riff kind of reminded me of The Darkness, a band that I quite like.
Oh yeah, I never even put that one. That's a good one.
See,
I like that.
Yeah, it's interesting what people hear when they hear the songs. And I think Brian and I were talking about that a while ago. It's just, we got to wait and see what people hear when they hear these songs, because we hear them completely different. We might say, oh, you know what, I don't like this song too much. That's not going to go anywhere. And then next thing you know, everybody loves it. And you're going, okay, well, that's what they hear. So we have to trust that, right? So, hey, see what they like.
Yeah, that was a tune that Les had wrote. That's the only one that Les wrote from front to back, right? Out of the whole record. And he still changed things up.
Yeah, a lot of his lyrics are in that. Like, the chorus is his. A lot of his lyrics are there. I changed some lyrics here and there in the verses. But, yeah, that's all Les, I think.
Yeah.
It's mostly Les, yeah.
And that was something that we started years ago, and it's made its way tried to make its way into other things, and it just never developed. This was the first time it actually seen the surface. So like that goes back to Step Echo. Is that what you're saying? Even before that, and for another project, he was writing for another project, and that project never got off the ground. And he's always had that one in his back pocket. He's like, I really like this riff, this song, and he's written it and rewritten it in different ways to suit somebody else's style of music, where it's almost a dancey pop song. And that's where it sat on a shelf for 12 years. And so when he brought
dancey pop, that would be perfect for you, Brian, and your high school persona.
Yeah. No, we don't have a keyboard player, so can't do it.
Did I hear keyboards on this album? I thought I did hear like some backing keyboards, like texture keyboards.
So we had Ray Knoll, who also played keys on the Stormforce record. He played some piano on Eyes of the Storm, and the rest of the keys I did.
Wow, look at this guy.
Yeah, I did all the rest of the keys except Corey McFadden, my producer for Step Echo. I was writing strings, and I kept coming up with this writing block. I just couldn't get something rolling, and I just said, hey, man, if I throw you a chorus here, would you be able to maybe throw some strings together? He says, let me hear it. And like 3 hours later, he sent me in the strings. I went, okay, perfect, done. That was that. So, but all the rest of it is, I played it all. My little keyboard over here.
So at what point can we expect you to do like a big Tommy Lee Home Sweet Home thing where you come out and play piano live and get the totally center spotlight piano? Yeah. Is that like maybe second album, third album?
Well, let's see how successful the first one goes. Got to be able to tour and do things and be able to afford stuff. But you never know. Who knows what the future will hold?
Yeah. True.
Peter Criss came out.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee came out. Rob came out.
The drummer's got to come out and sing, man.
Pat did. Everybody.
Yeah.
Pat was the drummer first.
Yes,
he was. Absolutely.
And you know, the other thing, guys, I've noticed about listening to the album is not every song needs a guitar solo. I mean, there's, you know, like kudos to Les, you know, like just, you know, laying off the gas pedal. I mean, not everybody has to go blah, 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 a million notes per minute. I mean, he keeps the song as the song. Yeah, 21 Guns has a guitar solo. So it's like some songs do, some songs don't, whereas some guys need to have a solo on every song, right? So I found that actually quite a breath of fresh air, especially the first time I listened to it through. I was like, whoa, man, not all these songs actually had the dude ripping. So, you know, like he really did it into the song structure and really brought it together. So, you know, props to him. So if he's watching, good job, pal.
That's Les's. It's one of his back pocket. He hates doing solos because he doesn't think he can do them very well. But he's a great guitar player.
He is a good guitar player. Yeah, absolutely.
His motto as a songwriter is like, let's just play for the song. If it calls for it, we'll do it. But if it's not calling for it, why put it in there? It's not needing it. And and there was a couple songs here like, you should do a solo in this one. He's like, no, I hate solos. I ain't doing it. It doesn't need it here. So we and again, a very simple lesson learned amongst ourselves. Like, what do you think? What do you think? Yeah, okay, perfect. It's done. There was no squandering about it. It's like solo schmolo.
But there were some songs that called for it that we would add. And Les knew that. He was like, I'm gonna drop a solo here. You know, it'll work really nice here. But to answer that, somebody put a question up saying the background looks like you're at Metalworks Studio.
Yeah. Compliment to the background here.
This is Brian's home.
This is my house. This is my home studio.
This is where the magic happens, right here. That album was right there.
Yep.
That's amazing. I mean, to a guy like me who's not a musician, just to see all the cool shit behind you is kind of awe-inspiring. But I do think it's really cool that we live in this age where you can make an album in your home. You know, you look at rock and roll history and you know, Deep Purple recording with a mobile unit and all this other stuff, and it's a completely different world. And as you guys have said, it's opened up new creative channels. And there it is right there. If you want to put out an album like this one, you just got to go out and buy one of those and get Brian to produce it.
You too can be a rock star.
Yes. It's easy. You just need one of those and a Brian and a decent singer and a good band. It's easy, right? It's simple.
The one thing that we didn't touch upon is that we were really squandering about the name.
Oh, yeah.
We were quite worried about the name. We were like, is this going to offend people and stuff? And then when we first said, when the name first came up, I was like, this is awesome. Right away, Supernova, poof. And immediately the word suicide, everybody's, that's going down a dark path.
I don't want to say
we talked about it quite a bit. That was probably the most we ever discussed about anything on the record, musically, anything, was actually the name.
Yeah.
And once we got past seeing that it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's more of a, hey, what's happening in space? Oof, a suicide star could take out our planet, could take out another planet. It's born, it's a star is born, something's happened. And that's where the suicide star came thing.
It's just a neat image, like a star that burns so bright and fast. You know, that's what the song Suicide Star is about. Just, this star, this person who just burns through life so bright and fast and misses everything and just burns out at the end, right? It's kind of a neat. So that actually came about I was hanging at a friend's house and I was playing him some of the early mixes of our stuff. And he had written with a band previously, so he put in some of the stuff he had been doing. And one of the songs was really cool. And I'm like, what song is this? He said it's called Suicide Star. And it was like, this thing went off.
Bells
went off. I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. Do you mind if I take that and bring it to these guys? It's like, no, absolutely, man. So yeah, as soon as I brought it to them, they thought, yeah, what a great idea. But yeah, then we had a lot of back and forth about, oh boy, is this going to be taken wrong?
Yeah. Yeah, especially over COVID, everybody's like, "Geez, don't fart." You're not wearing a mask with that fart. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't matter what you did. It was like this could be a problem, and we hummed and hawed about it. But once we really embraced the name and went, no, that's it. It felt natural again. It's like now it's Suicide Star. We've got our guitar picks are already made, shirts are getting made, things are happening.
Well, I'll want a shirt for one thing.
Right.
So don't make sure you let me know about that. I talked to you about this earlier that when I was looking for Suicide Star, I got a pop-up warning saying, do you need help? So, immediately I was like, oh shit, I hope Brian knows this and I hope it's not an impediment to the band. But now that you explain cause I was going to ask anyway what it was about, but now that you explain, it's kind of like it's almost like a science fiction-y theme. You've got the star and what they call a supernova, really. And you're looking at cosmic annihilation.
Yeah, you're going to hear it for the first time because you've got the CD version, unlike over there.
Unlike Deke,
he's got just he's not going to get the Easter egg. He's got the thumb drive, but the Easter eggs at the beginning of the record. There's a 1.5-minute intro there that's not on any other download or
it's only on the hard copy.
Anything
so that's good. So for you people who want to hear that secret intro on there, you got to get the hard copy CD.
That we just got a funny comment here regarding your band name. So maybe you're not out you're not out of trouble yet. But so you're telling me that you have a physical product bonus track essentially. That is cool.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
You know what sucks? In the year 2021, this is how stupid certain things have gotten. I don't even have a CD player where I am located right now, so I have to wait till I get home before I can hear it.
Laptop, or what do you have?
I have a laptop, but you know what? Most of them don't come with CD drives anymore.
Oh no.
Yeah, I would have to. I just bought this laptop, and I would have to buy an external drive.
I think you should just to hear the album.
Well, I'll be home in a couple of days, so I'll give you my feedback there. But that's cool. I am absolutely thrilled to find out that there's a bonus on the physical.
The intro.
That's cool. Hey, anything that's a bonus.
Yeah.
We music geeks, we would say you got to get the CD to get the full thing.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, now I have to ask: what about a vinyl copy?
Right.
We've talked about it.
Guys.
Yeah, we've talked about it. We'd have to remaster the record for vinyl, obviously. But financially, we can't do it right now. We're just, we're strapped with what without being able to go out and play. Just trying to get getting hard copies of the record. There's a quick $1,000, right? It's like, ugh. Yeah. When everybody's not working, and it's like, it's a little bit. So the pills are harder to swallow at this point. But yeah, we're talking about doing vinyl, a short run of it, whether it's be only 100 copies or something. But yeah, we've talked about it.
Well, sign me up for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep me informed. And
being our age, I'm a huge fan of vinyl. I would love to see my own stuff on a vinyl disc. That'd be great. I'd be thrilled.
How do you get the CD? You can order it online, right?
If you go to the Suicide Star Facebook page, or if you just email suicidestarmusic.com, or no,
Gmail.
at gmail.com.
Gmail.
Okay, I'm going to put that on the screen.
We'll mail it out.
Yep, suicidestarmusic@gmail.com, and ask for the CD. And
we'll mail it out to you for $10. That way it covers all the shipping and mailing and all that jazz. If it's local or around the area, we can get it to you. It'll be $5.
Mr. Snow, who is asking for the CD, lives in Carolina, so it might cost a little bit more than $10, but I'm sure that you can figure something out.
We just sent some stuff out to the States, and it worked out just about the right price for the $10. So yeah, we can still do that. So.
Guys, I'm gonna order a copy, man, for $10. I mean, see that's
shit, Deke, you're in trouble.
Right there. Bonus.
Awesome.
The misses.
And you can if you request.
Yeah, if you request, we'll sign a full copy and send it out that way too.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, I'm gonna return mine.
We're gonna sign your shirt.
We'll sign your shirt when we get the shirts done.
Okay, well, that sounds good. I definitely want that. And, we've been all about supporting local here because during this pandemic, it's been absolute shit for just about everybody. I live in Kitchener-Waterloo, and we've lost, well, I'm sure Brian can comment, Brian Zinger will comment, how many clubs and venues we've lost since this started. And I don't know what the scene in Niagara's like, if you guys have suffered from closures the way we have, but it's been devastating, just devastating.
Yeah. A lot of our clubs really died out even before COVID. There's mostly the bars that are hosting cover bands, tribute bands, that kind of a thing. There's a few venues that really only do the original scene. So I know that they're still hanging on, but it's by a very small thread. So thank God we're at the point that we are right now that they can start getting ready to open up again, or they won't be able to last a few more months. There's no way. They're just going to fold, and those are.
Well, dude, I got bad news for you. I live in Kitchener-Waterloo, and I live in the hot spot, and it could be a few more months. We're not seeing any improvement where I am, and it's the only place in Ontario where that's happening. And I mean, we have bands here too that are just dying to get out. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's just really nowhere you can go. And they're not, it's illegal. You can't sing, no spit, no dancing, none of that. Right. So,
what pisses me off? I don't know if you guys saw this story in Guelph. Local musician decided to just cheer up his neighborhood, came out one Saturday afternoon with a guitar, played some songs, ended up getting a $1,500 fine for a noise violation. It's like you try to do something nice. Your talent is music. You try to do something nice, and somebody's going to shit on it. And it's just disappointing. We should be coming together. We should be supporting each other.
Unfortunately, we're in the crowd business.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Really, the big picture of it, you're in the crowd business. So whether you've got 10 people in a crowd, that can lead to 25, 30 people. And when we've got these problems that are going on that they're trying to contain, and if you let one guy do it, then two other guys want to do it, two more other guys want to do it, and so on and so forth, before you got every guy in their neighborhood gathering up, getting each other sick, right? And that's what they don't want to happen. And unfortunately, that's just the problem. We're the high end of the crowd business. That's what we do. We get as many people into a club. Put 250 people in here. Put how many people in Neverwin Stadium there, right? 40,000 people. Jam them in there. That's going to cause a bigger problem in a shorter period of time. So I understand why they did it. I think it went way longer than needed it, but I'm not in politics and I don't want it.
Yeah, fair point.
But I understand it, and I don't like it, but I understand it, and I can appreciate our government trying to keep everybody as safe as possible. Some may agree, some may disagree.
You brought up a good point. I didn't think of it that way.
Part of our culture being in Canada, we'll just accept what's happening, get over it, move on with it, right?
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Let's move on. So.
If somebody said to you,
there's going to be a lot of clubs that are just going to tank, and it's unfortunate because they're the supporters for us to make our living too, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we're starting to see things progress in terms of outdoors activities, and I'm just wondering if somebody said to you, we got a gig at a gazebo in the middle of a park, would you guys be willing to jump on board with something like that just for the chance to stretch your legs?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Not right now.
No. Yeah. No.
It's again, I can't afford the fine.
No, I meant assuming that's a legal activity at that point in time.
Absolutely. Yeah. The second they say, "Hey, we can get back at it and do our thing," and I'm in the forefront as well. I work at the casino. I'm the audio tech in the Avalon in our new theater, and again, we only have 1,500 people in the Avalon and 5,000 people in our new theater. And what are you going to do? Put 500 people in that giant venue and say, well, that's the capacity you're allowed to have. It costs you more to turn on the lights than you would on the ticket sales. So it's a losing battle, right?
Right.
So until they say, yeah, it's time, you guys are good to go. And, they're keeping a good eye on the numbers, I think.
Yes.
With their second vaxes and knowing what our progression, they've moved phase 2 up by 2 days already. So things are starting to roll. So I don't think it'll be too long. I think by Christmas we'll all be going, hey, New Year's, we're gonna fucking party this year. So,
I hope so, my man. I hope so. It's funny. I was saying my wife and I were listening to Styx in the car on the way up, and after we were done the new album, I put on Mr. Roboto. There's a great line in there. The time has come at last to throw away this mask. And my wife goes, oh, if only. That
was the first ever concert I saw, incidentally, was the Mr. Roboto tour with Styx in Buffalo.
No way.
Mr. Heavy Metal here, huh? Awesome. He had some funny hair, too.
Hey, man, Styx, Mr. Roboto is just a little bit edgier than the flock of seagulls. I think, man, I'm being a shithead here. Look, you guys were bullying him when he was in high school, and now I'm bullying him now that he's well out of high school. I'm being a shithead. No, I'm being a shithead. I owe you an apology. Brian here says, if you do vinyl, make the price point higher with a small limited run, like you said, 100 copies. Maybe have them signed, but don't lose money. People are used to high vinyl prices in 2021. He's got a valid point.
Agreed.
Deke, what did we pay
agree.
for that signed Coney Hatch?
Right.
Or Deke's frozen. I think Deke's frozen.
Yeah,
Anyway, I think we
he
paid.
Looks very angry, doesn't he? What the hell?
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
I think with shipping and everything, I think it came out just in around just under $70, and that was for a double vinyl.
Right.
Right.
So
and once again, that's going back to supporting local, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys do it, we will support local. You'll have your friends, us guys. We will support you in whatever you guys decide to do. Yeah, because you know what, we've had book authors. A couple of our buddies are written books, and it's. I always say to Mike, it's important. We got to support our own, man. Like, support local. We're all good Ontario boys, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
although he's from the north, so he's.
And speaking of supporting our local, let's just take 2 seconds here, and if anybody who likes Gatto, support the guys in Gatto. Doug Inglis passed away today.
Oh no! What happened?
We lost Doug today.
Oh no!
He's going to be a big sting in a lot of people's back because he was such a sweetheart of a guy. So those guys are going to need a little bit of love and support. So there you go. If you don't know it, that's if you know the band and you're following them or anything like that, reach out and show your support to the Gatto boys.
For sure.
I've lost a band member and it sucks, man. It really does. It just ruins your whole inner soul, and it takes although Gatto hasn't been touring or anything, but there's still a family that's put some wicked rock and roll out for a lot of years, and unfortunately we lost Dougie today.
Well, thanks for telling me. I didn't know that. Thank you.
So there's that support thing. We're all a big family support group.
Yeah.
Everybody go out and rock some Gatto tonight, and if you don't have some Gatto, pick up some Gatto, man. There's some good stuff out there. Greg Gotovitz used to play over at Lulu's in KW, so we're well familiar with Gatto here. Oh wow!
Man.
Wow.
So Danny Nomar was their audio guy. I was their lighting tech.
We have just one comment here from Brian. Where will you guys play? Is Kitchener-Waterloo doable? Again, assuming when things turn legal.
Anything's doable. Yeah, we got a truck and a trailer. We can pack up and get to wherever we need to go. It's just need a venue to do it and support a band or have a band come with us. But yeah, absolutely. I'll be reaching out to you probably know Rob McEachran and all those boys.
Yeah. He used to be in Helix.
Yeah, so all those guys we're friends with, and when we get things rolling, I'll be reaching out. It's like, hey man, you guys doing a show? Can we come and do some support for you? Open up, make some new friends, and just introduce the band to people, because we're brand spanking new. Although we've got a lot of years in our back pocket, but we're brand spanking new.
Yeah, and I think the big thing was, at our age, I don't know if we want to do that usual, covers in the bar thing anymore.
Right.
And, down at 3:30 in the morning, getting home at 5.
We'll hire somebody to do that. I'm gonna get a beer.
Oh, okay. Right.
Oh, you go right ahead.
Yeah, it's just me. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Rob, can I ask you a question back to the album?
Sure.
The song "Follow."
Yeah.
I mean, that opens up with a pretty crunching guitar riff. I was just wondering, some of the lyrics goes as "make you, break you, watch you follow, betray you, escape you, watch you follow." I mean, you want to give a bit of a backstory on that tune, because it is a great track. I mean, that gets your juices flowing. So.
Yeah,
that lyric jumped out at me too, buddy. I'm glad you asked.
The first ones we wrote, I think, was "Follow," and that at the time was when the whole Trump thing was at an apex, and you just realize it's just all bullshit. All of these guys are saying this is what we're doing, and this is what we're gonna do, and this is what you're gonna do, and this is what we're gonna do. People vote this way, people vote that way, but in the end, they don't have your best interest at heart. They're just going to tell you what to do, and you're going to follow them. And that's really what it is. Like these guys, no matter how crazy they are, no matter what policies they have, people are going to be fanatical about it and just follow. And that goes on in all kinds of walks of life, right? It's just a cautionary tale, I guess, about just do your own due diligence, and don't just blindly follow somebody just because this is what they say has to happen and this is what the crowd says has to happen. So that's
like,
what that song was.
Like manipulation, basically.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to basically, twist your life around, whether it's one side or the other. I'm going to twist your life around, but you're going to follow me anyway. You're going to think I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread anyway, no matter what I say. So it was really interesting to me, and watching, Donald Trump, not that I'm anti-Donald Trump, but I had my opinions, but, just watching that fanaticism with some people really struck me. And I thought, wow, they would just follow him to the ends of the earth, wouldn't they? Right. So, and that's what that was about. Just watch, following the leader blindly like that.
I just want to give you a big shout out right now because listening to that song and the rest of the lyrics on the album, never would have guessed that was a political statement from you. Like you're very good at metaphor and leaving things up to the listener. So kudos. Yeah. And I'm assuming, Rob, that the lyrics, the lion's share, are coming from you.
What's that? Sorry.
I'm assuming that the lion's share of the lyrics are coming from you.
Yes. Yeah. I write pretty much all the lyrics. Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations. I mean, like, it's always nice when you can find out that there's a deeper meaning there that is left open to your own interpretation.
Yeah. And I like to do that when I write too. I mean, I have a certain idea in mind. I mean, when I get a song, like Brian said, Les will write a riff, it'll come to me and I'll sit there with it. I don't usually have an idea in mind right away. It's always the chorus it's always the chorus that seems to come to me first. So, and what I like to do is let it marinate. So I'll put it on in the car and I'll just drive around with it, absentmindedly, and then something will just pop out and words usually come out with it. And there's an idea there. So if it's good, I run with it. If it's not, obviously I change it up, but usually that's what happens. I just find this idea and I'm like, oh, wow, that would be great. And I run with it. Follow was one of those where I heard those words. First I'll make you, then I'll break you and watch you follow. And that was the whole crux of the song. That was the whole base of the song. So yeah, I like to write in metaphor. I don't want to be too literal. I like people to, interpret the song as they would, I guess. And, some of them, I listen to them and I'm like, I don't even understand what I'm talking about there. So, but yeah, generally there's a story, behind all of the lyrics that I write. But sometimes it's up to the listener to figure out what that is.
So there, right there, it tells you, like, we're listening to what you're singing about, pal.
You've caught our ears.
Yeah. Well,
so
go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So even you guys even take the pedal off the rock gas, so to speak, on Eye of the Storm.
Yeah.
I mean, so you have the one line in there where you sing what guides you in and out of the storm. Now, what's the story with that one?
That one's really personal to me. So what brought me back to the Niagara region was that my sister had passed away. And we were very close. No, that's okay. Yeah, thank you. We were very close. And like I said, for a year after I got back, I couldn't really do much of anything. I just, I didn't play anything musically. I wasn't inspired. And when we started doing this, I knew that there would have to be one song that talked about that. So, I took my time with the lyrics about that. And even when I recorded it, when I finally got the vocals down, I brought my girlfriend into the room and I said, sit down, listen to this. And, within the first minute of the song, I was a mess. I was blubbering and, because it really came from the heart. It's very metaphorical, that one. Okay. I don't want to say exactly what it's about. It's personal to me. People can interpret what they want, but the people who knew my sister know what it's about. So that one was really close to me.
Without getting into specifics at all, do you think? Sorry, Deke.
No, I'm just saying it's a great track. So, well done.
Thank you, and don't be sorry. We wouldn't have put it on the record. Yeah. It's a story that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why it's recorded and released, right? So
absolutely.
We're not going to shy away from what is actually there.
Is that the kind of thing that would be
on his shoulder quite well?
Yeah.
Is it the kind of thing that might be difficult to perform live?
I don't think so. I think I'll be okay with that. I mean, it's always going to be an emotional song for me, but I think I'll be okay. Like sometimes I've had moments, like I'll drive in the car and I'll sing along with the Suicide Star songs, and that one will come on and I'll break up a little bit when I'm singing it. you know, but what I like to think is that she's, you know, looking at me going, you know, I love that you did that. And she understands the love and where it came from, that song. So yeah, it's really inspiring.
Well, that's good to hear. Sometimes those can be the best songs live as well. Because they come from here.
Absolutely.
Man, I can't wait till you guys get to perform live.
Us too.
We had one comment here, or two comments here.
I'm moving into the middle here.
Okay, sounds good.
I got my headphones on. See.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, sorry. So we had a couple comments here. If you do come to Kitchener, Max the Axe has offered to open for you. Great act. I highly recommend. That would be a great double bill. And we have Kevin here offering to drive all the way down from Stouffville, Ontario for a Suicide Star Max the Axe double bill in Kitchener Waterloo.
Well, again, have you guys reach out to us on Facebook or our Gmail, whatever, and we'll exchange numbers and hook up for sure. You know,
I cannot wait until this is a reality. And it's so encouraging to see concerts happening in the United States. Like, I'm a huge, obviously, Kiss fan. And, you know, I saw pictures of them playing in front of a packed arena. So, you know, I hope that this is not a temporary blip and this is the actual end game.
Yeah, I don't think there's no looking back. There's no turning around here for sure. I think that unless something massively catastrophic happens in the world, shutting it down again, it's almost near impossible. People are at the end of their wits with it, right? So
yeah,
having the vaccine rollout is really what all this was, stemming on. Now that it's rolling out, it's getting bigger and bigger in number as people are getting more and more vaccinations. There's no turning away from it. There's nothing more you're going to do. It's just it's gonna work out to being just like we have the flu, right? You know, we have the common cold and the flu. Hey, you feel like shit today or tomorrow? I can call in work. What's he got? The flu. Well, the flu is a catastrophic event, just like COVID-19 is.
Right.
And the kids that are growing up with it now, they're gonna and beyond. That's going to be the normal thing. It's like, he's sick. Yeah, he's got COVID-19. It's going to be nothing in their back pocket. To us, it was like that fucking destroyed our world. Like, you know. But I think it'll be just like the flu. We'll get just like we get a flu shot or a booster. I think that's going to be the same thing with COVID. And I think it's going to be something we're all going to get. We're all going to catch it eventually. And, and when we do, we're going to be, you know, the ones that have been vaccinated will be protected from getting very, very sick or die. And the ones that didn't, well, that was their choice, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their choice. Same with the masks and all that stuff. Unfortunately, it's part of what possibly has slowed all this stuff down to getting back to being able to not wear a mask and go and see a band and have dinner with your friends and family at a restaurant or whatever. So only because that's the way that the government sees it that way. But we're not going to get into politics and all that. But I think I think that we're not there's no turning back. We're definitely moving forward, and shows, like you said, the states are, you know, they came on pretty strong. The second those guys got the chance to get out and play, it was like, I don't care how the fuck you fly from Canada to here, let's get moving or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I see before the summer's out, I bet you we're gonna like the outdoor shows will start up, and then hopefully by then numbers will be able to increase, allowing, you know, during Christmas time or whatever, we'll be able to start doing some shows, and some of the smaller venues are gonna have the restrictions where they can make some money doing it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to hanging out with these guys. I mean, we've only spent a limited amount of time together in the same space. So, you know, it'll be fun just to rehearse and hang out and, you know, and really get to know these guys. That's what I'm looking forward to.
You guys will be able to go somewhere else other than Boston Pizza.
In the parking lot. That's it. That was it.
Hey, Brian, if you don't mind me asking, just kind of shifting gears here quickly. I know probably a few months back, I know Greg posted on Facebook that he was working on Stormforce demos. Just wondering if you could just give us a little inside scoop on where that's going, or if you got anything.
Yeah. It was a couple of months back. Greg had sent some songs out, some ideas that he's been working on, and we've all been chipping away on almost exactly the same way, right? We're all recording from home. This is even for Greg. It's the first for him. He's now recording at home. This is new to him. He's always been in a a studio where an engineer and a producer and all these people are there to take care of whatever he's needed to do. And now he's had to shift gears because COVID's forced him to, and now he's recording at home. Mike's recording at home, Pat's recording at home. So we've been demoing almost the same way that we did this whole album. So you can see there's 6 Stormforce songs or 5 Stormforce songs right there on the computer that I've just demoed the drums to and sent off to Greg. And
I got to hear them.
So we're starting to write and starting to just toss around some new ideas. And because again, we couldn't do a show in all this time, and now we're going to come up on year 2 and we haven't done nothing. It's time to start thinking about getting another record out. So we're just starting to shake that tree, and the snow's starting to fall off of it. And yeah,
you know, you can send me and Mike the demos. We promise you won't share them with anybody.
Yeah, right.
I promise you, I won't be sending you the demos.
Damn.
You
can't fault the man for trying.
Yeah,
I just want to give a shout out to, as a vocalist, to Pat Gillardi. That guy is a monster. He's
another $5.
I've known him for 30 plus years now, and he's a monster singer. You know, and I think he's at the top of his game right now. Even at our age, he's at the top of his game. He's so good, and he just makes that music shine. He really does.
Yeah. So
I really enjoyed
the wheels are turning in the Stormforce world. So
it's good to hear, man. More music, the better. We all are off right now. You know,
but you know what? I think Age of Fear really deserves a second chance too, because it's unfair that you guys were unable to gig for it.
Yeah,
you know, life isn't always fair.
Yeah.
You know,
but the album does deserve a second chance. It does. And, we got this guy down in Australia. He's a huge fan of Age of Fear. Incidentally, he's observing that Les and Kirk Hammett have the same approach to solos on the Saint Anger album. Yep. But we got him. He's a big fan. This guy up here in Stouffville, he's a big fan of Stormforce. You know, we've got fans of Stormforce all over the world at this point, and we've been trying to spread the word. But Deke and I were only 2 guys, and this is just a part-time gig for us doing this thing.
Every little bit helps us all, brother. And just like being again COVID, we are not able to even get out and play. So being able to get out and talk to people and actually have it being buzzed around the world it's a huge help all the way around. So hats off to you guys for being another one of them outlets to make sure that music's being heard and talked about, and introducing people to the musicians. And you get that discussion that you can now connect with them. Go, I watch that whole interview and they enlighten me on this, that, the next thing, or hey, a guy's a dick, or he's a super nice guy, or they're funny, or you can connect with what their personalities are. So hats off to you guys for at least reaching out and rolling this whole thing out as well.
And I
you're very welcome.
A lot of the
that's the thing too. You guys were talking about shows opening. Just the other day here in Thunder Bay, they're announced an outdoor show here in September, where I think they're going to cap it at 2,000. It's I think it's Third Eye Blind is coming, and a couple other acts. So yeah, they're trying up here. So maybe
that's fantastic.
Maybe you can load up that van with the trailer and bring it up to TV, boys.
If the phone call is there and the dollar makes sense for us to be there, we'll go and play wherever we can.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And what I was going to say is what's changed is that I think in years past there was always kind of this air of competition with local bands. Everybody's trying to fight for number one slot and think, oh, their song's not as good, they're not as good. And this, I think that's changed a lot over this last year. There's been a few musicians / bands who have come out with their own thing. Mike Markarian came out with his project, and there's been a bunch, and it's been so far very supportive. Everybody's listening, everybody's commenting, great job, this sounds wonderful, back and forth between the bands. And I think that's important. And I think we should, once things get settled, we can get together, do a live show, support each other, and do that kind of thing. And I think it's really boosted the morale of a lot of these musicians, right?
It's awesome.
Everybody's going to have to work together in the post-COVID world. It's a fact. I mean, we've all taken a hit. Yep. It is true that some are getting rich and fat. right now, but it's not anybody in this chat right here.
Yeah, no, most of us are just
that's why the camera's only for me.
Most of us are just getting fat.
Well, I don't know. They say that some people have put on the COVID-20, but I've lost the COVID-20 for sure because I'm eating out. I'm not at all. I'm not eating out at all.
Yeah.
Well, skip the dishes is my friend.
Yeah.
Skip
dishes.
He always brings good food. I don't know what it is with that guy.
Sorry, there was one thing I was going to mention just when Rob was talking earlier. Something occurred to me. When COVID first hit, Amazon stopped shipping music. And that really bothered me personally because I didn't have any way of getting any new music. And personally, I believe that music is essential to the mental health. So, when they did resume shipping music, I was very happy. And then when some local stores figured out how to start doing that again, I was happy. But just wondering, this seems like the kind of album, personal expression, getting out some feelings. How essential is music to mental health in your opinion?
I mean, absolutely. Just going by what we wrote on that album, it was really, not to be too cliche, but it was really a labor of love. It really was. All the stuff that came out was all that was happening over that year. We didn't just write, a group of rock songs and throw it on a record. We wrote songs that, meant a lot to us and how we were feeling. And I think Les is very much like that. He's a very organic writer. The stuff that comes out of him is real and natural. And, and you can feel that. And when I'm putting a melody to it, it fits right in there so easy. It's very effortless. So, it was very much, I think, a healing process for me anyway. I'm sure with these guys too.
Us guys.
These guys.
Use guys.
Right. Well, yeah, absolutely. And I think music is one of the only things that, kept a lot of people going this last year.
Yeah, man.
It's the one thing that's there. And all these bands you're saying with Styx and all this stuff coming out with this new stuff that they did over the year, and a lot of it's really inspirational, right? Tommy Shaw, Styx, he's one of my musical heroes. That guy, I think he's fantastic, great vocalist. Yeah, absolutely, great songwriter. Him and Lou Gramm. Lou Gramm is number 2. Lou Gramm, man, that guy is a master.
And that.
That's it.
Hang on, we're gonna do. Oh, that's a nice hat. We're gonna do a zoom in here. Here, Brian, show it off again. Nice.
What did you do on that? Work that tour? They were. Oh, really? Yeah. Man. Yeah, no, yeah. Lou Gramm. He's a man.
And guys, like for the longest time, the most exciting thing was new release Friday to see what was coming out. Because it was like, man, maybe some music's coming out this week that'll carry me through to another week or two. And it was just looking for small positives. Like Mike said, Amazon shut down. It's like, man, I hope something drops. And then, they lift it up and everybody starts buying music like CDs and vinyl and everything else and books. Man, you got to get through it. So it's just like the small things I think we took way for granted because you'd say, oh, yeah, there's a new so-and-so album dropping this week. Yeah, okay. And then all of a sudden when there's lockdown, you can't do anything or go out or blah. Yeah. All of a sudden it's
it's your routine, right? It's our routine. Yeah. The routine is rolling over. It's just another week with a new routine. And something came out. It was like, oh, it was spectacular, but it was just a routine. All of a sudden you take that routine away. It's like, shit, now what? And now you look forward to it. You're looking for things because you got nothing else. You've watched enough Oprah to kill yourself. It's like, what else? You're looking for something. And then, exactly.
Yeah, the tough part of doing it in this environment is, especially with the way the record labels are now, because there's so much digital music and Spotify's the big thing, record labels are kind of going by the wayside. So I think there's a real gap where somebody can actually point people to what's good and say, because record labels, that's what they did. They said, look, these guys are great. Go listen to them. And there's a lack of that now because there's not a lot of labels anymore. It's a lot of small independent labels, but we're so inundated with music on the internet that it's hard to find the good stuff. You got to really shine. You got to really get some kind of promotion or something, because labels really, I don't know if they help you that much nowadays as far as
they're
exposing
small,
you, right?
They're a small pile of exposing you. They're the big labels have got their handful of people and that's it, right? But they don't have our reps all over the place going to every cool place in LA or wherever and finding next great cool thing and giving them a shake. Yeah, you got to do that work yourself now.
Yeah.
And again, it goes down avenues like this where, you get to talk to people. Now you're introducing to 2 or 3 more people that are actually would have never heard of you, right? If it's 50 people, 100 people, 200 people, those are now going to be interested in looking at it. If they like it, they're going to, hey, I know somebody, or hey, check this out. And it's the word of mouth that really helps you out, right? The labels they're just not out putting the money that they had out back in the day.
And nowadays you got to pay for stuff, right? Now you got to, if you want to get promoted, you want somebody to distribute you and this and that, you got to pay. You got to pay thousands sometimes just to get, your music out there. Whereas before they would sign you and they advanced you for everything and then you paid later. But now it's nope, we want this much up front and we'll give you this much exposure. So it's a whole different world, right?
And that's the great thing about like even social media. I mean, I know today, Mike and a pal of ours, John, they were talking about the Styx and Dennis. I mean, it goes back to Styx and Dennis DeYoung, like Mike's saying.
That's what I've been listening to.
Boom, boom. And, and that opens it up. So it's like, yeah, you know what? I downloaded the Styx and it's a great record. But now because those two yahoos talking about Dennis DeYoung, well, now I'll check out Dennis DeYoung. So, right there, it opens it up. And if we can help you guys move a few copies of Suicide Star, man, we've done our job. Like we were psyched when we first had Brian and Greg and Patrick on. Sorry, and the first time, and we were pretty psyched after that was the first time we ever interviewed anybody.
Yeah,
as were patient with us. And then a few days later, some of our buddies were like, "Yeah, man, I ordered the song for us, man." Blah blah, and we're like, "No way! Like that is just awesome." So,
what you guys are doing is an important hub to our business and making it thrive. And there's lots of guys that are like you that are doing it, and it's wonderful that they're finding their avenue to be able to do this and support music and put it out there and get it in people's hands, because there's a lot of great music out there that nobody even gets. You don't even get a chance to be heard at all, and it sucks.
Yeah. And as lame as it sounds, you really do, like Brian touched on it just there, you really do have to treat it like it's a business. A lot of people think, oh, we're just going to make some music, put it on a record, throw it out there, and hey, let's see what happens. And magically, we're famous and rock stars and touring the world. No, you got to treat it like business. You got to be on top of it. You got to follow who's playing what, where. Maybe invest a little here and there to, in the right spots to get it boosted, and and there's that whole half of it that a lot of people forget.
Yeah. Getting the record done was the easy part. This is the hard part now. Is getting it out there to people and getting it in their ears, and Spotify's been really cool, man. That's been a neat tool. Like, I mean, I've had it in my back pocket for all these years, but I haven't been a part of it like I am this time around. This last 2 years, Spotify is just it's a great tool for music that you don't need a label to do, because they'll build a playlist for you so you can build your playlist that will automatically stream in what's familiar to that genre of music, and you'll get a listen by somebody that would have never went and looked you up. So,
hey Brian, quick question. Just confirm $10 Canadian for the CD.
Yeah, for mailing. If it's like local, if we're around town, or if you're nearby, I'll drive it over to you, or one of us will drive it to you, or we can hook up some way, and it'll be just $5 at that point. But if we got to mail it, put it in like we sent to you, it's got to be in one of them bubble wrap envelopes and stuff. And by the time and the stamp and so on and so forth, it's usually a couple of dollars depending on how far it's going, right? So that's why we say the $10.
Well, just so you know, we just sold a copy to Mr. Frank Tom's. Okay, then done, he says. So looks like we sold a couple copies of the CD here tonight. That's great.
When I get off, my wife will be sending me $10.
He's gonna make his money back.
Yeah.
So Deke, you're getting a copy ordered tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna get off when I'm done with you guys. I'm gonna get my wife to send you $10.
Nice. Because she's the boss.
Sorry, I have a technical question. So I have somebody, my girlfriend, asking how to leave a comment on there. She wants to leave a comment. She doesn't know how. Is there something you got to click on there?
She's got to be signed into a YouTube account or Facebook.
Gotcha.
If she can go to my Facebook page, she can leave a comment there if she's signed into Facebook, or if she goes to the YouTube link, she can leave a comment on the YouTube, and then I can put it on the screen.
Okay, there you go, Lisa. Do that.
Unless, because of the CDs that we've sold today, he can afford guitar lessons, which might mean maybe on album number 2, maybe there will be more solos.
Yeah.
We're changing the course of the band tonight. We've sold enough CDs tonight that next album will have more solos.
Yes. $10 a solo. Here you go.
Yeah.
No, that guy is so talented. I mean, I get it. He doesn't want to do solos like it's 1985, but man, he does them so well. He's such a tasteful guitar player. You know, I just want to go, man, do some solo. Let me hear it. Come on. But yeah, no, I get it.
He does his solos very melodically, where it plays off of the chorus in a lot of ways. He'll take parts of the chorus and he melts it into a solo so he can play off of it. So it's a familiar solo, not necessarily a solo at shredding, but it's got a melody tied to it, right? Yeah. So, and he's good at doing that. He's got a great ear, and yeah,
he doesn't play to be Eddie Van Halen. He just plays to the
plays
song.
To the song. That's right. What it's calling for.
Yeah. That's
sometimes
a totally good approach.
You got to know when to rein it in, right?
Totally.
Well, a lot of guys don't ring it in. So, kudos to him. That's why. That's like I said to you guys earlier. That's why I noticed right off the hop after I got through it the first time. It was like, man, the dude's not soloing on every tune. That's an interesting concept, but works well within your guys' perimeter. So hats off to Les.
Thanks.
Brian is asking if you can get Stormforce and Suicide Star from the same place, but I don't believe you can.
No.
However, for those who missed it, the CD version is the one that you want because it's got some additional extra music at the beginning. Extra bonus stuff for physical product.
You'll understand the story of Suicide Star.
That's right.
That beginning track.
Okay. I'm looking forward to
the name, really.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to being in a location where there is an actual CD player where I can hear it.
Yeah, it sucks now. They got I got this great CD. Hey, you got to knock on doors. Do you guys have a CD player?
I only need a minute and a half.
Yeah, I just need a minute.
Right. But like my vehicle doesn't have a CD player in it anymore. Most vehicles don't seem to have that. And like Rob was asking earlier, my laptop does not have a CD drive in it anymore. So
it's the way of the past. We almost didn't press it. We were right down to the wire almost. We've had the CD now, 2 weeks? Yeah. So it was really only like 2 weeks before we actually got them. We went, okay, let's do a small run. Let's the hell with it. Let's just do a small run. And we weren't going to do it. We were going to just keep everything digital.
But there's a lot of people that still want that solid piece of thing in their
You're
hand,
one of them.
Right.
I love it. I love it.
Exactly.
And all that. Smell it.
Yep.
There's those people.
I'm the same way. I like that.
Well, yeah, like I wanted to see the credits. I wanted to know who wrote what and who produced what, and it's all here. You guys shared the credits. Brian did all the studio stuff, and that's all there. I can read it. When I'm writing music reviews, I kind of like to know that kind of stuff before I start spouting off my mouth about who did what. So,
but the flip side to the streaming thing is it's almost try before you buy.
Yes.
I mean, people, for myself, I stream stuff and then I'll go and buy the vinyl copy if I really like the album a lot. Yeah. So that's my angle. I love the physical copy. To me, I just love, I grew up in the 80s, of course, with Iron Maiden, and it was all about the artwork, right, guys?
Yeah.
Me, the CDs for Iron Maiden.
Aki's asking to show the CD inside.
Here it comes. There it is.
I'll hang on. I'll do a close up here so everybody can see it, and get it right side up. There we go. That's a nice angle.
Yeah, we did all the artwork as well. Eh?
Yeah, that was all us.
Great logo. Yeah.
That's him. He did all that stuff.
That's Aki?
Yeah, he did the logos.
I had some help with the logo, but that's it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
it's quite amazing how much stuff we did do. We did all the artwork. We take care of all the music, all the things that we've done. It's been 100% us doing it, not a third party. But
that's amazing.
Your stream before you buy or listen before you buy. Even with that, it's part of the business that helps us. As soon as you stream it, we get paid.
Okay.
So it helps, so streaming is awesome. So like I said earlier, like some of these Spotify playlists that happen, your stuff gets slammed in there And if they listen to it and not skip by it, well, that's another pay, right? There's a listen then, and they're just ticking off. It takes a lot of listens to make a few bucks, but that's the way the world works, right?
And some of those playlists were holding strong. Like you get put into a playlist, and usually because there's so much new music coming in, your song just goes down and down and down and down. But there's a couple that we've been in for a month now that we're in the top 10 still, which is awesome. Considering how many people are listening to these songs, like 35,000 people for one of the playlists, I think. So, that's pretty impressive,
Yeah. Oh, and Lisa Jones says, great interview. You all rock.
Hello.
Well, hello, Lisa. Good evening.
My girl. She was
That's
so
awesome.
patient. There were so many nights I was like, you know what? You're going to have to sit and watch TV. I'm going and shutting the door and recording for, 4 hours. And she would hear me because it goes through the whole house. She would just hear me screaming and doing the same parts over and over and over again. But she supported me the whole way. She's our number one. Yes.
Okay, so extra thumbs up.
Special. Between all that bashing drums and then listening to it and then mixing it, it's like over and over and over, same song. She's like, all right, enough already. See the lights come on and off. You kind of think, knock it off, I'm ready to kill somebody.
So maybe the true champions during this whole COVID thing are our partners, because Deke and I, we've got the permission of the wives to be here tonight and every freaking Friday. So the wives have been more than patient with us. Oh,
they're saints.
And Lisa was singing right along with you.
Yeah, there you go.
That's cool. And I am assuming that Frankie.
She's on the album, actually. What's this?
There you go. People type that into your browser, I guess, and you'll hear Suicide Star on Spotify. I don't know what he's trying to show me here, but type that in, folks. Type it in.
You can get those links right off our Facebook page. So if you go to Suicide Star on Facebook, we have all the links there to Spotify, Apple Music, what else? YouTube, Instagram, all of that stuff is there.
Okay.
So you guys are on. You guys are on Amazon Music as well.
Yes.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, if you go to our YouTube page where our video is for Mercy, the second video right beside it is our 30-second commercial slot, and that 30-second commercial slot actually lists a ton of things that that we're up to. So you can I got that, and you can put it in your pocket, away you go, right?
Nice.
So
lots of options today to listen to new music, whether you want physical or not. So that's great. I mean, at least you have the opportunity to get it out there.
Yeah.
Another good thing about the modern age, since none of us I haven't been in a record store since probably January 2020. So,
yeah.
Well, this when stores do kind of come back, do you think this will be available locally in Niagara?
Well, you would know the steps to do that, wouldn't you?
To get it like in a music store,
on
or a record store?
on a shelf in a store. Yeah.
We don't have one.
You don't have one.
Well,
no.
Pen, guys, or no H&M.
Not there anymore.
What? Oh, they shut down?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, we don't have one. We have a vinyl store downtown in St. Catharines, and it's got a bunch of old cool stuff, and but I don't know where you can go and buy a CD or anything.
Oh, that's sad. I didn't know they.
That's entertainment, maybe.
Oh yeah, they're hanging on. They're hanging on.
They still sell cigarettes, so they're in business.
And videotapes.
Geez, 20 years ago, I was helping open up a CD store in Niagara Falls. The Beat Goes On, which is now long gone from Niagara Falls. But I remember
The beat went on, did it?
The beat did. The beat ceased beating, unfortunately. But I recall that the guys there, I believe those guys came from Music World in Niagara Falls, I think it was. And I guess that's no longer, is Music World even a thing anymore? Probably not.
Never heard of it.
Do you remember Pop Tones? That was Pop Tones.
No.
That was a great record store.
Don't know that one.
Yeah, that was a nice indie store. You got a lot of cool stuff in there, a lot of signed stuff, and picture discs and all that cool stuff, right?
So you guys,
do you remember?
You guys used to enjoy record stores as well, and going out and buying stuff at a record store like the old days.
Yeah.
Things have changed. They even lining up in a record store to get tickets for a concert.
Remember that? Wow.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Now it's
of it all, right? You had to stand in line, you talk to people, you get excited about
get
it.
the wristband.
You get your tickets, you're like, fuck yeah. Now you got to wait for it. Now you get in line to go and see it. And you're like, fuck yeah. You know,
I still have the ticket from that Styx tour, the Mr. Roboto tour. It was $18.
Wow.
I was in lower gold. I was in lower section. $18. That was crazy. Wow. That doesn't happen anymore.
Apparently, Niagara on the Lake has a vinyl shop, SRC Vinyl in Niagara on the Lake, apparently.
There you go.
I mean, that's the thing of days gone past. I remember when the Tragically Hip released Fully Completely, and the following one, Day for Night, I mean, we went to the record store at midnight because they opened up for the CD release drop of it. Yep. And there were tons of people. I mean, that's just lost. That's a forgotten time now. It's just
that was the days when that's the stuff that we're going to miss, right? That you don't have to do any record store and promote your album and appear there and sign autographs. And,
you know what you do now? You line up at the store to get this fucking thing. Yeah, the new phone's coming up. Let's line up and get the new phone.
Exactly. Like when you were saying lining up for tickets, now it's refresh.
Exactly.
They're all gone. That whole bond communication thing with other people that are into the same thing you are, it's gone,
Well, crap, 2 weeks ago, Deke and I were talking to Andy Curran from Coney Hatch, and it was Record Store Day, and I was trying to buy the Record Store Day exclusive Triumph box set. Back in the old days, you'd line up at the record store, but today I'm refresh, and then all 12 copies were gone. So I never got it. Oh, and apparently Music World folded in 2007. And
current story.
Oh, go ahead.
I met him a couple of times, but the last time I saw him, do you remember when Max Webster got back together and they did that? They did a bit of a tour.
Yeah. They played Lulu's in Kitchener.
Yeah, so they played a bar called Front 54 around here, and it was jam-packed. I think it was general admission, jam-packed. So I got there way too late. I was literally standing in the lobby, and I was looking through. They had just a double door there that I had to look through, and I'm a short guy, so I'm trying to look above these people. I'm like, I'm so mad. I'm just standing there pissed off. And I turn around, and who's standing next to me is Andy Curran, and he's in the same boat. He didn't even get in there to get a good spot. So we're sitting there, we're just commiserating about that, and we had a great time. We just, shot the shit, and I asked him about, because at the time, I think he had just released his first solo album, and we were just talking about that, and it was a great time. We were just standing behind the whole crowd, not seeing any of the Max Webster show, and just talking about his album. It was a great time. What a great guy he is.
And you're totally right. He's a great guy. He came on with me and Mike 3 times.
Oh yeah.
The first time we had a bunch of technical issues with the Bluetooth in his vehicle. So he shot me a message. He says, I can come back the following Friday. So the following Friday, he came back on with us. And we also had Mike Fraser on. And
they
hadn't talked in a while. So we were able to hook them up, which was cool. And we didn't finish with Andy. And Andy says, well, you know what? Have me back on. And I'm more than happy to finish up with you guys. So we had him on a few weeks ago. I mean, a total thrill for me because I bought that first Coney Hatch back in '82, and I thought I was just hoping. I was just hoping to get a half hour with them on our show, and
we ended up getting like 5.5 hours.
So and tons of stories and such a great guy. I mean, totally blew me away. I mean, everybody that we've had on have just totally blown us away that they actually want to hang with us on a Friday night.
But like I was saying to Greg Fraser last week, Stormforce was our first, Deke and I, it was our first interview. And here we are, how many months later? God, I don't know. In COVID time, it feels like it's been forever.
Almost a year.
Here we are, and you've got Suicide Star. So it's like we've got, during this whole time, we got 2 albums that are fucking awesome albums too.
Yeah. So what else do we have to do?
Well, I was going to say earlier, here's my prediction, and you can feel free to comment on this. My prediction is when you guys get together for the first time and actually jam in a room, you guys are going to come up with a whole shit ton of new material, and there's going to be a second album in the horizon before you know it. That's my prediction.
I agree. I don't think it's going to take long. I know it's not, because there's still probably 5 or 6 that never made the album, never made the record. So there's some stuff already in the back pocket that we just wanted to let's get to a number, and out she came. So we've got some stuff in the back pocket.
And there might be a cover in the works that we
Yeah.
might that we're gonna surprise everybody with.
Yeah, there's that. And
Also, Flock of Seagulls cover.
Well, Step Echo did that.
Yes.
Oh, no kidding, really?
Yeah. So if you go on if you look up our first record, actually we shot a video for it too. We did. What was it? What tune did we do?
Aki's not there.
No, I know.
Looking for Aki.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. If you go on Step Echo and look up. What the hell song is it? What the hell's the title? I can't get Eye of the Storm out of my head.
Dude, I was listening to Iron Maiden when you were listening to Flock of Seagulls. I don't know.
I promised I'd stop bullying him about the new wave stuff, and there I go. I jumped right back into it, so I'm an asshole.
Is it too early to mention the band we might cover? Do you want it? Are we waiting on that?
No, don't say anything.
All right.
No, you can't. You can't.
Surprise. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Don't give it away.
no.
All right.
In the meantime, Deke and I will build buzz by just making up rumors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to pull in views.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said they're going to do blah, blah,
Bohemian
blah.
Rhapsody.
Yeah.
You know, why not?
Sure.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
Nope.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm sure whatever it is, it'll be.
Oh shit! I think somebody. I'm going to put this comment on the screen. It looks like it has been spoiled by the official Suicide Star Facebook page.
I was strange.
Oh,
I had Eye of the Storm stuck in my head, and I
Yeah,
couldn't
no.
get it past my tongue. I'm like, why can't I get it? So yeah,
That's what Step Echo did.
that was our cover.
That is-
Check it out. It's pretty cool. We beat
That
it
is
up.
a wicked song.
It's
Yeah.
not as fruity as it was originally. It's a whole lot heavier, and yeah, that was a fun tune to do.
Cool.
Nice. Well, Deke, we're getting close to 9 o'clock. Do you have any sort of wrap up questions that you are dying to ask at this point?
I have one more for Brian. You like we were talking earlier about Stormforce. The album not really. I mean, it obviously did really well with reviews and all us guys and stuff. And you know, any talk about reissuing it with demos or anything, just to give it like it deserves another.
What I was saying. Yeah, it does deserve another shot. It really does.
I really think that that album will get its fair shake when we can actually play live. That's where immediately people have been introduced to the record. They know the record. They want to come and connect with the band, and that's I think just like all of this COVID thing that people have not been able to connect with the bands. We're getting some new music, and I think we're going to have a new wave, no pun intended, of new music that's going to hopefully shake up the industry, give it a new sound, because we're dying for a new sound. We need a new something. But that's what I think will kick off that record with a little bit of a pat in the back, because then if we're able to go out and play some shows, we can connect with those people and maybe connect to new people, which will hopefully spawn off and make it feel new again.
And I think every song in that album will do well live.
Yeah. And Rob, once again, cheers to you on a stellar vocal performance on Suicide Star, pal. Like, killer, kick ass, and everybody get out there and support local. And you know what, guys? Thanks for reaching out. We're more than happy to have you on. Always free to come back anytime.
Absolutely.
We would be happy.
And
a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun.
My final question is, again, for Rob. I ask this of pretty much every singer that kicks my ass that's on the show, but do you have any vocal tips or tricks for keeping that voice sharp?
I come from the school of Pat Ghilardi, and just the more abuse, the better the voice is. And I mean that. Like, as long as I'm singing and belting it out, it's in shape. Once I stop, like I haven't sang now since we recorded, I think, the last song of the album. Once in a while I'll sing in the car, but yeah, it's as long as you're using it, it's like a muscle, any muscle in your body. As long as you're using it, it's going to stay in shape and it's going to be in its top form. And lots of water.
There you go.
Wait, yeah.
Well, that's
90% water.
That has water in it.
Yes, water in it. Yes.
Oh, you know what? I got to put this question up because this is a great question. Maybe it's a question about Brian's endurance, but could Stormforce and Suicide Star play a double bill? I'd pay to see that.
I would love to do that. Why? Because I don't have to tear down my drums twice.
There you go.
Yeah, I would love to do do a show like that. I don't know that would happen unless there was more than just the two bands. It wouldn't be back to back. It just wouldn't be nice and fair to anybody at that point, because both bands have their own bubble that and trying to merge the two would just be a little uncomfortable for some, I'm sure, including myself, because they're two separate entities. And if it was a bill that had like 5 or 6 bands on it, and those two bands were in that bill of 5, it would be fantastic, super awesome.
There you go.
And my endurance there, it would kick my ass because I have 2 kits, one for Storm Force and one for the Suicide Star. So I have 2 kits, so I'd have to tear it down anyway and bring out the other drum set.
Oh shit! Are you serious?
When shooting the video, you have to do multiple takes of every single person in the band, but each of us had our takes and we would step off to the side. Brian had to be there the whole time in the background playing drums. He must have played that song 45 times that night.
Wow, so there's endurance.
So really, these things are fantastic. They work well.
That's some endurance for you there. 45 takes.
A little red. That's why.
Yeah. So could you even feel your hands at the end of the night?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Really, in the end of it all, after doing 40 songs or the same song 40 times, it's really doing like 3 sets, right?
Yeah.
So when you're in shape, which I'm not in playing shape right now because I've been, recording, and once I've recorded, I've been sitting at this thing, pushing faders around. So my fingers are really good, but I've been playing this last couple of weeks, and of course when we were tracking, demoing some of the Storm Force stuff. So I've been starting to play again, getting ready to start jamming and start doing some things to get these balls rolling. So I know if I don't start now, I'm not going to have calluses and my hands are going to start ripping apart. And, you do take breaks from playing like a guitar player, right? All of a sudden you take a couple of weeks, or a few months, they shred for about 10 minutes and then their fingers are bleeding and there's nothing but blisters. So I do need to get back into a little bit of playing shape, but it won't take long. The sticks they'll be rock hard shortly.
Oh, awesome. Well, we can't wait. All the best to you guys for the rest of the year, man. I mean, and thanks.
Thanks so much, man. This was fun. We love this.
We'll say one more time. Go to, I think it's email Suicide Star Music at gmail.com. It was, right?
Correct. Yep.
That was it. So check out the album Isolation. Yeah, check out the Mercy video on YouTube. Check it out on Spotify, on Amazon, your preferred streaming service, or buy the copy for the extra music.
Yes, for the Easter egg.
For the Easter egg. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. You have a wonderful weekend. And Deke,
thank you, guys.
Mr. Deke is off now for the rest of the summer. He's taken the summer off from the show.
Oh, and you're wearing a Montreal hat. Oh.
He is. He is.
That's awesome. Well, enjoy the rest of your summer, sir.
Thanks, boys. I'm gonna get on it and get my own copy of the CD. I don't know what I'll play it on, but you know what? It's important local, man.
Well, there's going to be a rush on CD players now. They're going to have to start remaking.
Right.
Just from this album, they're going to have to start remaking CD players.
This show tonight is going to reboot the economy.
Yeah.
There we go. We hope so.
We hope so.
All right, guys.
All right, boys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
You guys have a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend.
Cheers, guys. Stay safe.
Take care.
And happy summer holidays, Deke. Ciao.
Woo! Peace.
Donuts.